My name is Kedra, and I'm going to talk about marketplace ministry. It's usually one of those things that are kind of overlooked and not talked about as much. So I want to go ahead and dive into it because in this moment, in this time, marketplace ministry is more important than ever to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. So we're going to talk about what marketplace ministry is, and hopefully that'll give you a better understanding of what it is and if you are called to it. Okay, here we go. So what is marketplace and ministry? It is serving and advancing God's purposes through work, right? So businesses, economy, government, teaching, entrepreneurship, blah blah blah, entrepreneurship, arts. It is when the workplace meets your faith, right? So it's not apart from your spiritual life. It's not apart from your spiritual life. Marketplace ministry is you in the workplace as ministry. So your workplace becomes your mission field, and it's like you're out on the field spreading the gospel. How your faith meets it, we'll go into that later, because you would not approach being in the marketplace and ministry the same as being out on the street evangelizing, right? But we will go into that later. What does a marketplace represent? Public, economic, and social spaces where people gather for work, trade, and influence. So that includes all aspects of where people gather, and that includes social media. Okay. Why is the marketplace important? The marketplace is a place to demonstrate integrity, serve others, influence culture, reflect God's kingdom in everyday life. Okay. Marketplace ministry shows that work and business can glorify God, right? So you can be in the marketplace and still glorify God. It's not set apart from God, but it's to show that God can still be glorified in your work. Yes. In the way you, have you ever seen someone, you're like, wow, you just have such an amazing work ethic. Even when people are not watching, they're always doing the best they can possibly do. You know, they're always speaking life into other people. They are always, they're just working at a level that is elevated, right? Not because they want to get a paycheck, but because they know that there's a standard that they live up to. There's a standard. The Lord wants us to do everything unto Him, right? So that includes your work. So in the workplace, even people seeing someone work like this, and they see your work ethic, they see your integrity, they see you have moral standing, they see how you treat people, that can draw people closer to Christ. Yeah, it can. All right. So marketplace ministry, so it allows believers to influence people through integrity, leadership, and service in everyday environments, right? Just like we just talked about. The marketplace creates opportunities to share biblical values and demonstrate God's love where many people spend most of their lives, right? Most of the time you're working. Most of your day you're working, trying to make a living so that you can put money on them bills. Okay. So most of the time you are working and you're around other people or in environments. Even if you work at home, you're still in an environment. There's always a culture, even when you are working from home, where you probably work through teams and you have a rapport with people in teams, or you have meetings and things like that. So even if you work from home, you're still in an environment where you can demonstrate God's love, you know? So next we're going to go to Acts 17. Bear with me. I haven't made a video like this in a while. But one of the things the Lord was telling me that I need to release this, or He cannot release me to do anything else. So I needed to get it together. All right. So we're going to be in Acts 17. If I can get there. All right. So Acts 17:17. It says, I'm reading from the NIV version. Okay. So he reasoned in the synagogue with both Jews and God-fearing Greeks, as well as in the marketplace day by day with those who happened to be there. This is Paul. Paul was in the sound. He went to the synagogues and he reasoned with both Jews and God-fearing and Greeks, right? So that's him in the church. That's showing him in the church, right? Then it says, as well as in the marketplace, day by day, with those who happen to be there. And that is the marketplace. So you can see the separation from church and marketplace ministry in this text, right? Okay, now we're going to go to John 17. John 17. John 17. Now this is Jesus speaking, okay? 17 to 17. And it says, sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world. So as you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world. This is Jesus speaking. He sent them into the world. He sent the disciples into the world. Why? Where? Why? To spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. They were sent into the world to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. It didn't say that they sent him to the church, into the world. So that means including the church, including the marketplace, right? Including your nail salon, including sports, including every aspect of the world, right? Out into the world. Let's look at some people in the Bible who didn't necessarily work in the temple, but they did have ministries in the marketplace. So let's look at Joseph. Joseph was an administrator of Egypt's economy. Right? The Lord gave Pharaoh a dream. Joseph interpreted it, and God gave him strategy and a plan to steward Egypt's economy. And he was not Egyptian. So he was put in a high place to steward over Egypt's economy to go ahead of a famine that was coming that the Lord revealed to him, right? So he was actually right below Pharaoh, right? He was in second in command. And this is where God placed him, and he used him to do ministry in the marketplace. And this is another sign of marketplace ministry. And this is more of like economic structure, right? So let's look at Daniel. Daniel, government leader in Babylon, right? Now let's look at Esther. Esther was a political influence, right? She had great influence. Her people knew that she had influence. She was the queen. So she had a voice, right? And she used her influence to get her people what they needed. And that is also marketplace ministry. She used her influence. So we look at anything that has political influence or even influence on social economic influence. Marketplace, it's still marketplace, right? Marketplace ministry. It becomes ministry when your faith is connected to it. It's not separate, right? Nehemiah, royal cupbearer and governor. Lydia of Thyatira. she sold purple cloth. So she was basically like in fashion, right? She was a merchant of purple cloth. So she was in fashion. But she also was in hospitality because she saw what they were doing and she wanted to be hospitable to them. She also wanted to fund the kingdom. But she had money because she was in fashion. She was running her own business. So think about that. So these are all examples of people that were used in marketplace ministry, but not necessarily used in a temple, in the church. But God still used them in the marketplace, and they all did great things. They were all useful to the ministry. And one thing about the marketplace is it's every day. You're up close and personal with people every day. So it's always a great opportunity to show the love of Christ, show who Christ really is without shoving it down people's throats, right? Because we're going to talk about how you do that as well, but that's going to be in another video. So stay tuned for that. So today I just wanted to cover what is marketplace ministry. So we went over that so you have a better idea. Next, what we're going to be talking about is why do believers hesitate or avoid marketplace ministry? So I'm going to say I was kind of in this number at one point. Next, we're going to be talking about that. So if you like this video and you want to learn more, you want to go deeper into the marketplace, I will be releasing that video. And if it's already released, it should be on the screen somewhere and you can just click on it. It should be attached. If this blessed you and you want to send it to someone else, go ahead and send it to them as well. And hopefully it'll bless them as well. Okay.